Mr. Huff, and I just want to point out this week we have, toward the end of the week, we're all going to be looking at engines. So you have some notes to do, but then these two assignments go together. We have a simulation and the data table that you're going to turn in. So let's go take a look at the simulation assignment. So there's a little introduction. You need to, on your lab computer, your PC, download this executable, and then you can run it from your downloads folder. That's fine. It looks like this. You can change the bypass ratio, FPR, CPR, fuel ratio. Usually for our lab here, these three are going to be the default values. You can set the speed here and the altitude here, and then you're going to be gathering the thrust and the specific fuel consumption here as you make these changes. So I've got a couple of Google documents for you to get copies of. One of these is a Google Sheets, and the other one is a slide deck where you're going to put your findings together. So when you open the engine report, you're going to do some definitions for me to show me that you understand some of these concepts that are important. And then we're going to go to the data tables. So let's go through, and then we'll go through the data tables. And I have a little bit of notes, a few notes before you start. Then I give you some values in the data table to put into the engine simulator, and then you're going to record the thrust and specific fuel consumption. I have a few notes here about Mach, and then you're going to change some things, basically update the speed and altitude. Then you're going to change the bypass ratios. Remember, as you're going through this, you're starting with its default values. You're making one change, recording values, then one change, and then another change, and you're recording these values as you go. All right. Then I have a part called Your Lab, and basically I want you to look at, use some default values, but I want you to look at the Mach number, altitude, or bypass ratio. Choose one of those to explore more closely. I've given you some default ranges to use, but you can use any number set you like. And then what I want you to look at, so choose one of these and then choose one of the thrust or the specific fuel consumption as your output. And then you're going to do 10 experiments using 10 different values for your input, recording 10 different output values, update your titles in your graph and your data tables to match. Tell me what your constants were and that sort of thing. So right here is where you're going to put that. So you put in your constant values for Mach, altitude, or bypass ratio. And let's just say that right here you were looking at Mach versus specific fuel consumption. So you might have different, so the Mach is your variable. So choose an altitude like 12,000 feet and a bypass ratio of like, I don't know, 2, 4, 50, whatever you choose. And then here you would just change that Mach number from 0 to like 3 or whatever, going in some increment or just trying different numbers. The order doesn't matter because it's going into this scatter plot. And so when you're done, update everything to say like Mach versus SFC, and then change this to SFC versus Mach, SFC, and Mach, okay? And then you'll have a shape here that updates as you change these data values. All right, let's go look at the engine report. So you'll fill this out. You have a title screen, then you've got several pages for definitions and images. You're going to rank your engines, the type, by fuel efficiency, including your SFC values to justify that ranking. You're going to choose, or tell me the engine type, ranking them by increasing thrust. And then here's your thrust values to justify your ranking. Then your lab, you're going to have a screenshot of your data table and your scatter plots. And then you're going to answer these 4 questions using complete sentences and justifying your claims with data. All right, and then proofread, and that is the lab. So the things you'll turn in, you're going to turn in the slide deck here, and then you will turn in the data table here under 16-engine data. All right, that's all I have for this. Ask me if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.